All right. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Hi, everyone. Hi, friends. I hope this finds you in good health and secure. And I do mean that sincerely. Our Sangha, you may not be aware, is worldwide. We have people spanning the globe from Australia to Alaska, from China and Japan and Estonia and Ukraine to California to Canada, everywhere in between. It's amazing actually that with relatively few numbers, and I implore you, please like and subscribe. By subscribing, especially you, and liking, you help the algorithms in YouTube present our Sangha to a wider audience. So it's critical that we grow the Sangha. Yes, that's our propagation mission. That's a Bodhisattva act. But yeah, for as relatively few numbers as we have, we're all over the planet. It's amazing. All right. So thank you, really. And so know that when I say I hope you're in good health and secure, I really am worried about some. A lot of areas in the world today are very challenging to live in. So always remind yourself, if you're doing okay, really appreciate that, yeah? All right, quiescence. As I said in the last couple of videos, I'm not here to be a science teacher or a science, what do they call them on YouTube? Science, words. Scientists, actual scientists, and who are good at bringing the sciences to, the layman like you and I, who have the capacity to understand very deep concepts, but maybe not all the language and the specifics, right? Like who remembers from high school chemistry what a valence is? You might, but most people, I would argue, unless they're in the sciences, probably wouldn't have any idea. They would think of a valence, something over the curtains, that box at the top. Well, you may not even know that. So anyway, quiescence. Why do I talk about it? Because Shakyamuni is his enlightenment, so amazing, right? And a lot of these concepts, you might think as a young person or a student in the modern age, are recent understandings and developments, but actually a tremendous amount of astrophysicists, cosmologists, astronomers, as they may have called, and once all the sciences were included under philosophy. They were about knowing about life. Well, Shakyamuni, incredibly intuitive from his enlightenment, explained the very nature of life. And this is an important, I'll tell you why this is so important. And this is what makes Buddhism, in my view, certainly, so unique amongst all of the philosophies, quote unquote, and certainly outside of the realm of religions, for this specific reason. Buddhism is not based on beliefs. Buddhism isn't based on something that cannot be proved and therefore has a potential to be truth. Buddhism is based on actual experience. It's based on our samsaric life. The purpose of Buddhism is to live this samsaric life to the full. So there's no room in Buddhism for magical thinking or mysticism. The articles, the folklore, the stories of Buddhism may seem quite magical or mystical. They may even talk about using those, translations using those words. We know all about cultural biases and language biases, right? But the point is that that's not Buddhism. That's leading people from their capacities, their exposure, their cultural norms. And what cultural norm in the world, even if you profess to be an atheist, the reason you're an atheist is because there's a theist to be opposed to. You can't not be something without the something being. So you're certainly aware of what you're not. Do you see? It's starting to sound Buddhist, isn't it? Like Laurie Anderson said, there's the thing and there's the name for the thing, and that's really one thing too many. That's an abstract reference. If you get it, great. So quiescence. We're talking about energy. What is energy if it isn't doing anything? Or whatever it's doing is so incredibly subtle that there's not even the formation, the engine that makes or creates or instantiates or whatever your visual needs, bubbles up, right? What makes the bubble? So quiescence, it's there, it's potential. That's the word that suits it best that I can come up with. Potential isn't anything, is it? It's like the air being what a writer or poet might say is pregnant with possibility. Well, what is it that's pregnant with possibility? It's not, but it's there. You know, and quantum, we talked about quantum fluctuations. Scientists are grappling with what words can we invent to label it? Because we need to identify it. Well, you and I identify it all the time with our minds. We're aware. We know, right? We talk about it. Oh, he's my boyfriend because he has so much potential. Yeah, we talk about it like normal parlance every day because we're aware, we experience it. It's real. So all we're doing with all of these words is parameterizing with words so that we can all share with one another these concepts, these properties, these suchnesses of the experience of life. Buddhism is about reality, the experience of reality, not the hopeful, wishful, some butterfly will come out of the sky and lift me, and where are you going? Where are you going? What? That's not real. That's great imagination. That's great analogies and things we can use to discuss. But what we're discussing, it's real. Is your life going well or is it not? How are you experiencing your life? Doesn't matter what somebody else thinks, right? This is reality. This is what makes up our state of being. You want to call it happiness? Okay. You want to plug it into one of the 10 worlds definitions? Not really using that right, are we? Not if we're identifying, I'm in the world of hell. No, you're not. The fact that you can even say that, you've just gone through, 3,000 realms in every single thought moment. So the time it takes you to make that sentence, you're already permeated by thousands of influences of realms of worlds. You may be clinging and causing yourself lots of the lower worlds of being, but you don't have to, because as we know from study, Buddhahood is in all of them. It's just a matter of changing your perspective. I know that's a frustrating thing to know. It's just like I don't know if your mom ever did this or if any of your relatives or friends ever did this. Just stop thinking that way. Change your mind. And you go, how can I change my mind? I've just been through this and been through that. I understand. I'm sympathetic. I'm not saying you didn't go through that. I'm saying alter your frame of reference so that you can enjoy your life again. Maybe you need to... A teacher many decades ago told me, I can't believe how old I am. Just had a birthday, so I'm thinking about age. I'm always thinking about age. But she was amazing woman. She said to me, it's okay to feel depressed or anguish or whatever, struggle, emotional, whatever that you're feeling. It's okay. But do this. Give yourself a time limit. What? Yeah, that's what she said. She said, if you're really feeling down, give yourself an hour. Be down for an hour. Oh, gosh, everything, man. But, when an hour goes by, okay, I'm through being down. That was enough of that. Let me now change that. Do this. It sounds kind of silly, but I'm telling you, tremendous amount of wisdom in that. Because it reminds us that we're responsible for our mental state. The world, life, the universe, not happening to us. We're in it, right? Just like the waters in a rapid. And the waters don't complain about going around the rock. The rock is part of the rapids. The water just continues. And then, it gets to jump off a waterfall. All right, back to quiescence. Sorry, I digress. A noun. 1, the state or quality of being quiescent, right? If something can have a quality of being quiescent, can you say that it doesn't exist? So a quality of energy that isn't manifesting into anything is simply quiescent. Moving on. Or inactive. Rest. Repose. Inactivity. The state of a thing without motion or agitation, as the quiescence of a volcano. Okay, that's samsaric right there. But before we got to the volcano, the idea of rest, repose, inactivity doesn't necessarily require thing, right? But that's how our language is built. It's all about samsara and things, so what are you going to do? But I think the word rest is important in here because we have concepts in lots of different philosophies, martial arts, for instance, where we talk about ku. People have asked me about ku. It's not how that's the phonetic of a Japanese word about rest. Rest like nirvana, rest. Yeah, ku. It's just quiescence. Ain't nothing happening. Second analogy or definition. In philology, science, the condition of not being heard in pronunciation, as the quiescence of a letter. That's pretty abstract, right? Especially if you study other languages, but in English also. There are many letters that are not pronounced or uttered. They influence the other letters in the word. So that's a form of quiescence. An influence, that's the thing to get from it, an influence rather than an actual thing itself, although it's a letter. Anyway, third, in biology, quietude or inactivity, a state of animal life approaching torpidity, but in which the animal is capable of some motion and may receive food It is observed amongst insects during either hibernation or pupation, right? Like a caterpillar metamorphosizing into butterfly. And in many other animals, both higher and lower in the scale than these. All right, so we have these abstract concepts of how to interpret the word quiescence. But Shakyamuni talked about quiescence all the time. The quiescence of the universe, of the formations of all phenomena, a base from which everything arises and decays, and extinction back into quiescence. It's a big circular thing. I've done many videos about that years and years ago. I probably need to revisit those. Had pictures and charts. Probably documents on threefoldlotus.com you could download on those charts. I like to include those as search material, research material on the course study materials page, yeah? So let's get into what I wrote in the entry here. And after all, we are reviewing this book, Buddhism reference. And here's what I wrote. In Buddhism, I have used this term to refer to the state referred to in many texts as, quote, beginningless time. We read that often in the sutra, right? Or, quote, time without beginning. This term represents the potential. You can see potential and quantum fluctuations in this book for more on that. For all phenomena without construction or parameters, etc. Also, indicative of the state of existence and non-existence and many dualities of this type offered by Shakyamuni as leading to a deeper understanding of many concepts in his teachings, such as emptiness or non-self, right? All these concepts lead to an understanding of energy in various formations, in momentum, and non-static in their true nature. Therefore, only experienced in successive moments as they're influenced and changing constantly. Never creating themselves, but instead a product of a process of impermanence and instantiations that never are idle or self-contained. See energy and see also quantum fluctuations. Also look at the engine of life. Look at many other terms in this book. You'll see that this concept is central. That quiescence, nirvana, of no remainder. If you look up nirvana, there's two aspects of nirvana. The nirvana of no remainder means there's no remainder. That's why we use the word extinction. If there's no mind to conceive of it, then there is no conceiving. There is no consciousness. You got to disabuse. Even philosophers today are trying to figure out that moment in quantum fluctuations when consciousness arises. Stop it. It looks like consciousness, right? It's like saying the water flows down from the mountain, and we know gravity is the reason, and it goes around all these rocks. But you see the words we're using? It goes around as though it is a conscious thing. Well, it's just doing what the physics of it are availing it to do. And we even use the analogy, I've used it, of a teacup of water from this part of the ocean or from a river. Nietzsche talks about all rivers leading to the ocean, so on and so forth. Yes, it's a useful analogy, but that's not to say that the planet is thinking. It's alive. We talk about Gaia, the Earth as its own ecosystem, and how we're kind of messing with it And whether or not we survive, the planet doesn't really care. It's just planet gonna planet. There's no consciousness there. All consciousness is ours. And boy, do we love to project that on things. Guess what? That's the samsaric mind. That's clinging, attachment. Stop it. How do you stop it? Oh my, do I have a lesson for you. You ever heard of Namo Myoho Renge Kyo? That's how you stop it. Get yourself a mandala, enshrine it, a nice protective altar, reenact the Lotus Sutra, the ceremony in the sky, witness the treasure tower, which is actually your enlightenment, but you're so samsaric you need to identify it, so there it is. Go ahead and pierce through it, lose that physical attachment and clinging, and be in Buddha-ness, unattached experience of all the same phenomena, but without the clinging and attachment. Wow, how liberating is that? That's the whole game, my friends. It's not that difficult. All of this, all of these terms and so forth. All right, back to the lesson. Sorry about the interruption. I had to take that call. All right, so makes sense, right? Buddhism is about actual experience, nothing magical or mystical. It's in the dialogue because that's how we humans talk, based on samsara. And when we calm down, we see that everything in its ultimate state, where it comes from and where it ends up, it's just quiescence. No disturbing here, no hells or heavens. It's just energy doing what it does. And we get to participate. We get to witness it. How amazingly special is that? Nichiren's constantly reminding us the incredible opportunity of being a human sentient mind. Look for the story of the turtle that needs to find a sandalwood log, not just any log, with a hollow in it that's just right so he can go sun himself. And he can only do it every, 1,000, 10,000 years. And it's a fascinating story. But it's all an example to remind us, or a story, to remind us that to find this teaching, to understand this teaching for what it truly is, what an amazing opportunity. Don't squander it. This is why I say all the time, savor your practice. Don't rush through it. Don't do it like it's a chore. When you sit down in front of your butsudan, your mandala, okay, now I get to eat my favorite food. Now I get to do my favorite thing. Namu Myoho, and think, Myo, oh yeah, this potential, it's happening right now, every moment. Renge, wow, I get it. Kyo, being in this is amazing. Guess what you just did? You manifested your Buddha. That's what it is. That's the practice. I get chills just thinking about it. Savor your practice, okay? And in order to do that, be kind to yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of your health. Seek secure locations. Make good friends. Right? Everything in your life should support this Buddha-ness. Helps make decisions much easier, doesn't it? Should I do that? Kind of leads me in not the place I want to go. Therefore, I don't need to do that. Does it lend myself to enlightenment? Then that's the direction I need go. If I'm not sure, I need to go awaken my Buddha-ness, spend a little more time daimoku, chanting, do gongyo, and then it'll either just take care of itself or, aha, renge. That's what I need to do. It'll be clear. That's the practice in daily life, yeah? All right. I'm going to let you go. The next term, we'll get back to more Buddhist terminology, rebirth. We get to talk about rebirth. Oh, boy. All right. That'll be a good one. We'll confront a lot of demons. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for your support. Please like and subscribe. It does so much for the algorithms. Don't forget the free information on threefoldlotus.com, the podcasts. And while you're at threefoldlotus.com, if you can check out the ebooks or the books on lulu.com, if you prefer print books, all the materials are here. This whole effort is to solidify our practice, remove doubt, give you confidence and resolve. Right? So thank you. Thank you for that. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.